My father's laughter bounced off the kitchen walls as he waved my business bank statement like a trophy, wearing that familiar look of pride he reserved for belittling things he didn't understand. The statement showed over $85,000 in deposits for the month, but to him, any money earned through my digital marketing consultancy was imaginary, child's play that belonged to the family, not to me. Samantha, stop pretending to be an entrepreneur and focus on your real responsibilities, he declared as he signed my name, bold and theatrical, onto a check drawn from my business account. Your mother's mortgage is due, and your brother's tuition isn't going to pay itself. I watched him forge my signature for the 1000th time, lifting my phone to discreetly record the act. $12,000, allegedly for the mortgage. The mortgage I had already been paying quietly for 8 months while they treated my income like an emergency fund they were entitled to. Dad, that's my business account, I said evenly, keeping my voice calm while filing away one more piece of federal evidence. Business account? He laughed again, sharp and dismissive. Honey, posting on social media isn't a business, it's a hobby gone too far. Get a real job and help this family properly. My hobby had earned $847,000 in 18 months from Fortune 500 clients who paid premium rates for strategies that produced measurable results. But in my family's mythology, I was the 26-year-old playing with computers while the adults handled real responsibilities. The mortgage is $12,000 now? I asked mildly, knowing the actual payment was $2,800. It includes catch-up payments, he said smoothly, the kind of smoothness people use when they've decided morality is an inconvenience. Your mother and I have carried this family for years, the least you can do is help. Carried the family. His electrical contracting business had been in the red for 2 years. My mother's part-time bookkeeping brought in $1,200 a month. Meanwhile, Kevin's $65,000 a year private college education, tuition, room, board, designer wardrobe, had been quietly funded through forged checks and unauthorized withdrawals from my so-called hobby account. So I nodded, smiled, played the grateful daughter while documenting one more felony for the federal investigation I launched 3 months ago. Sam, came my mother's voice from the living room, sweet and tremulous in that rehearsed way that always preceded financial discussions. Can you come here for a minute? I found her surrounded by college brochures and aid forms, eyes full of sacrificial exhaustion. Kevin lounged nearby in clothes worth more than most people's rent, performing the role of struggling student. Sweetheart, Mom said softly, we need to discuss Kevin's spring semester expenses. Mom began speaking with the gentle gravity of someone announcing a national emergency. To her, Kevin's education wasn't a personal choice, it was a family investment. The tuition increased again, she said, and there are additional fees for his study abroad program. Kevin's study abroad program, a semester in Italy costing $35,000 beyond regular tuition, all of it funded from my business income, money my family treated as community property while simultaneously treating me like a financial burden. How much additional? I asked, though I already knew from the bank statements I monitored daily. $35,000, Mom replied. But it's an incredible opportunity, Kevin cut in, glowing with the confidence of someone who had never once wondered who was footing the bill. We'll be traveling all over Europe. And the networking is huge. Networking, he was an art history major with no career plan beyond, figure it out later. Yet his European vacation disguised as education was treated like a strategic financial move, while my actual, revenue-generating company was dismissed as me, playing with computers. That's a significant amount, I said calmly. It is, Mom agreed, but education is the one thing we never compromise on. Investing in our children's futures requires sacrifice. Sacrifice, that was the word they used to morally sanitize theft. They weren't stealing from me, they were sacrificing me. Every forged check, every unauthorized transfer, every dollar funneled into Kevin's life was recast as parental duty. Sam, Dad said, re-entering like a CEO about to announce budget cuts, your mother and I have reviewed the family's financial priorities. Kevin's education comes first, then household expenses, then whatever's left can support your computer hobby. My computer hobby, the one generating more profit than both their jobs combined. Yet apparently I ranked third, behind Kevin's Roman holiday and bills I'd secretly been paying anyway. I understand the priorities, I said, pulling out my phone and casually snapping a photo of Kevin's program paperwork under the guise of checking messages. Another piece of evidence. Good, Dad said, reaching for another check from my business checkbook. He needs $15,000 by Friday for the deposit. I watched, documenting every stroke as he forged my signature for the 47th time. This one brought the total embezzled amount to roughly $340,000, enough for multiple federal charges: bank fraud, identity theft, wire fraud, conspiracy. My phone buzzed. Samantha, ready to proceed with arrests. Surveillance confirms ongoing fraudulent activity. Are you prepared for tomorrow's operation? Agent Chin. Tomorrow. After months of documenting their schemes, the FBI would finally arrive. Sam, you look tense, Mom said with her signature blend of concern and accusation. Trouble with your little business? My little business, the one employing 12 people across 6 states. Just the usual, I said as Dad tucked the forged check into a neat stack of future evidence. Well, don't let it consume you, Dad said in a tone typically reserved for children with science fair projects. When this entrepreneur phase is over, you'll want a real career. Maybe Kevin can help connect you in his field after graduation. Kevin's field, art history, estimated starting salary, $30,000. Yet he would be guiding me back into reality after my brief detour into generating nearly $1 million in revenue. That night, in the modest apartment my family believed reflected my financial limitations, I reviewed the case files one last time. 12 months of theft, $340,000 in unauthorized withdrawals, digital forensics showing Dad accessing my online banking portals, voice recordings of them strategizing how to keep me obedient while draining my accounts. The most disturbing clip was a late-night conversation between my parents where they agreed I was too naive to handle my own money, and that stealing from me was actually protecting me from myself. At 11 p.m., my phone rang. Dad's number. Sam, I was reviewing the business account statements and I'm concerned about your spending patterns. My spending patterns, spoken by the man who forged dozens of checks from my account without permission. What kind of spending concerns you? I asked. Well, you're paying for expensive software subscriptions, high-end computer equipment, professional development courses. It looks like you're getting caught up in the fantasy that this computer thing is a real business. The tools that allowed me to serve Fortune 500 clients and generate nearly $1 million annually, labeled as irresponsible fantasy. Dad, those are business expenses. Sam, real businesses have employees, offices, predictable revenue. What you have is an expensive hobby. Your mother and I are worried you'll blow all that money on equipment instead of helping with practical family needs. Practical needs like Kevin's European vacation and forged checks for fake mortgage payments. I appreciate your concern, I said, and ended the call. The next morning, my phone rang. Agent Chin. Samantha, the operation is in motion. Federal agents are executing search warrants at your parents' residence and your father's business. Are you in a safe location? I'm at my apartment. Stay there, they'll try to reach you. 2 hours later, the calls began. Dad, 8:15 a.m. Sam, the FBI is at the house. They're asking about bank accounts and forged checks. Call me immediately. Mom, 8:30 a.m. Samantha, agents are saying someone stole from your business. They think it's us. This must be a mistake. Please call back. Kevin, 9:45 a.m. Mom's crying. She says Dad was arrested for stealing your money. That can't be true. Dad would never steal from family. Call me. Their voices shifted from confusion to realization. My Play Money account had officially become a federal crime scene. Agent Chin called again at noon. Your father has been arrested on charges of bank fraud, identity theft, and wire fraud. Your mother is being investigated as a co-conspirator. The evidence is overwhelming. What happens next? He'll likely plea. Restitution exceeds $340,000. That means serious time. That afternoon, I received a collect call from county jail. Sam, it's Dad. There's been a misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? He had told the FBI I gave him permission to use my accounts. I never did. Why didn't you ask me? I said. Because you'd say no. You waste money on computers. I used it for real needs. Kevin's school, the mortgage. His confession was recorded. Proof of intent. Tell them I had permission, he begged. No, I said, you stole from me. The trial lasted 4 months. The truth came out. Dad embezzled $340,000 in a year. Mom helped through manipulation. Kevin benefited without question. They called me irresponsible while draining my accounts. In court, The prosecutor asked how it felt to discover my family saw me as their bank, not their daughter. I answered, it was never about money, it was about respect, and I never had it. Dad got 6 years. Mom got 3. Kevin received probation. I recovered every dollar, with penalties. Their house and assets were seized. The real victory wasn't financial. For years, they told me I didn't understand money, but the investigation proved I wasn't naive, I was exploited. Dad later wrote from prison, asking for forgiveness, insisting it was family duty. I never replied. Love doesn't include fraud. The business they mocked has since crossed $2 million in annual revenue, and now helps others escape financial abuse disguised as family obligation. Their lies collapsed, their power vanished. Mine didn't.